Okay, hi everybody. The music is getting a bit mystic. I think we can start. Welcome to the third community call of 8004. It is like 3 weeks since the last one, but every community call it feels that ages have passed in terms of progress. That's the plan for today. So we will discuss updates in general on the implementation and on 8004 from a specs perspective, and we will talk a lot about agent registration. Second, in the last call, we promised that the focus of the community would have been dev tooling, and we will discuss progress here. We will share the first version of ecosystem map that it's populated thanks to your contribution. We will have, as usual, the community time with a few demos, not too many because as you've seen, the agenda is pretty packed. And today we have like a specific running list already defined. And then we will finally present the agenda of the in-person event that will happen next week on Friday at Dev Connect. Davide will pitch this. It's a very exciting agenda. And if we have time, we will do some Q&A. Let's get into it. So I would say that the takeaway is that we're really learning by testing together, which is exactly the plan. That's why we are on testnet. And as we anticipated, the specs are almost consolidated. So there are a few things that are changing, but they are very, very small. So that's a bit for 8004 nerds. So the only maybe slightly relevant is that we are removing feedback auth because based on your requests and suggestion, it was creating like too much friction for reputation. And it was like a bit complicated to implement it. And so we'll just remove it. And in order to defend from Sybil attacks, people will probably just filter reputation by the different client addresses, watchtowers, reputation system aggregators. All the others are very small things. So like changing name of variables to avoid the collision with Viper. Uh, Set agent theory was already implemented actually, just wasn't in the spec. And then really DevX improvement like moving from bytes to string to enable like easier readability from dev tooling. The PR it hasn't been submitted yet for these small improvements, but it's ready. We are sharing this now in the chat if you're like very technical with 8004. While these small changes in testnet that could still require updates to SDKs will be released like super soon. We wanted to make it for this call. We didn't manage to do that, but I suspect it can be like maybe tomorrow and for sure this week. So all very small changes. Mainnet has been postponed for this reason. We want to make sure we are future proof. We want to continue to listen to your feedback also at the event at Dev Connect. We want to work with registration. So we prefer to take more time to also work on audits. Nethermind and other organizations are helping with that. So we postpone to December. Where we are right now. So during the last community call, if you remember, we were between implementation and dev tooling. So what happened is that now we have 3 SDKs working, and we have actually it's 4 or 5, probably more. It's just impossible to count the number of explorers that are popping up every week in the builders program. But we're really going into the right direction. Dev tooling, I mean, it's not done. We will, I think, continue to have strong improvements over the next months. But it's, I would say that the urgency that was there in the last community call has been like partially solved. And so now we can move to the next step, which is, I think, probably the first one, which is very exciting, which is like registering agents. And I think this will like be the focus of the community for some time, for the next few weeks, also after Dev Connect. And then, of course, we will move to reputation. But before thinking about reputation, we need to make sure that agents are there, right, and registered. And so a couple of words on this. So discovery as a cold start problem, but that's fine, I think, because I mean, everybody in the Web3 and AI space at the intersection is talking about it 2004, so we are a strong community, so I'm not concerned about that. Second, discovery, it's two-sided. You need both explorers and agents to create value, because agents want to pop up in explorers, and explorers, of course, need agents to make the explorers meaningful. And of course, both sides needs to speak the same language. What does that mean? Well, 8004 does the job, of course, but it's also important to use it in the best way, and also use taxonomies. So we have worked in the last few weeks, and if you also talk to the, for example, to A2A ecosystem, there is a strong skill taxonomy that projects are using. And what we again, it's not mandated from the spec. It's just like an improvement. It's just a dev tooling thing, which is what we are working on right now. But instead of reinventing the wheel, we think that what Linux Foundation now, but it's originally coming from Cisco, is called OASP, is a good place to start. You have skills. It's two dimension, skills and domains. All this is open source, but it can really help you explaining with clear unique keys if you're doing an agent which is doing education, or if it's doing training. And so what we suggest is just to leverage this and just tag your agents to make sure that they're well described in explorers. We actually are launching today a nice guide. It's 8004 compatible. It's just a way to make things very easy to understand. So how to make sure that your agent looks great. Of course, don't forget name, image, and description. And these are how you introduce yourself to the world, how you describe what you do, what problems you solve. Second, don't forget about endpoints, at least one. And if you use MCP, you can put your tools names. If you use A2A, you can put skills. Here we are using OS skills. You can use ENS. It's just a recap. It's stuff that probably you know, but that's in just one page. You can really pick what you want. Don't remember to put at least one a wallet. Can also be on another chain compared to when you're registering. It's where you want to receive money, basically. And third, that's where taxonomies could be useful. Tell us what you can do. So we really want to know what your agents can do, and you can pick domains and skills. There is in this repo you find we prepared a nice JSON with the skills and domains already packed that you can import and pick your own. The public website, this one that I was showing, is linked here. And and by the way, in one of SDKs that we will pitch later, this is already supported, so it should be actionable immediately. And finally, don't forget about putting the 8004 registration to link back to the chain. That's for security reason, to make sure that the owner of the server and the person that will register the agent is the same person. It's not, and maybe a couple of more things. You can also advertise if you're using X42 to receive money, and if your agent is active or not. So by default, SDKs will consider it false, and it's active. If it's active, it means that you're ready to receive requests. So this is how the file looks like. Again, it's nothing different from the past version. It's the same. OS was already, by the way, is already online since beginning of October in our specs. Maybe one thing, guys, please don't put. There are many teams that have inserted the entire JSON in the agent URI field. So instead of a URI URL, some projects are directly insert the JSON on chain. And for example, the builder of 8004 scan that we will meet him later today in this call got crazy because of that. So the message is really, the moment is here. We are now ready. In the next few weeks from now to Christmas, let's make sure that we all register the best agents that we have. Okay. And somebody, David, is probably sharing the links that I'm sharing now in the chat. We will also share all the links afterwards in our Telegram channel. Now let's move to dev tooling. we have many talks, so please make sure you stay under a few minutes, 3-4 minutes, depending on your presentation. And I'll leave the floor to Matt from Piñata, that will tell us more about how Piñata can help us with, of course, the IPFS resources that we need to register agents and to share feedback. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Give me a second. Oh, turn my camera off, meant to share. All right.
Can you share
Cool.
the information? Okay, great.
Yes, I sure can. Yeah, I accidentally turned my camera off when I was trying to share. That's never gets old. Cool. All right. So my name is Matt. I'm from Piñata, and last week I gave a little bit of a sneak peek in about 15 seconds. Marco so graciously let me speak again this week. So Piñata is running an AI builder program, and what is Piñata? Piñata is crypto's file storage solution. We run on top of IPFS, which is kind of like the gold standard for how you work with metadata and off-chain files in the blockchain space and ecosystem. This is being utilized more and more heavily by agentic systems. A lot of people building in 8004 are using this for a variety of reasons. And yeah, our whole sales pitch is we are very easy, few lines of code. Sometimes with even out code, we have a UI. You can get fast, secure, and scalable agentic file management without complex setup. So again, like how is Piñata being used? For specifically in the 8004 community and agents, if you look at the initial proposal for 8004, you're going to see identity validation and feedback registries. IPFS plays a part in those. This basically allows for a tamper-proof file layer for storing that type of information. And it's cross-chain, no cryptocurrency needed, kind of works everywhere in a very agnostic way. So we are also seeing agents utilizing IPFS to transmit data amongst themselves. Even outside of registries, agents are using IPFS as a way to save state, to transfer files in a way that is tamper-proof and distributed and decentralized. And then this is a little bit more of a Piñata specific plug. We do have a X402 plugin for private IPFS, which is allowing agents to buy and sell data using X402 in an IPFS compatible way. So still get those same CIDs. You're just able to monetize them now, which we think is pretty cool. So what we're offering for everybody, this is our AI builder plan. All you need to do is email team@piñata.cloud. Just give us your account email and your project name, and then tell us what you're building. And we're going to give you a free year of our Fiesta plan, which is $100 a month. So yeah, full year of free IPFS, free Piñata. Just let us know what you're doing. And we kind of want to see what people are building. We're really curious. So looking forward to it. That's what we got. If you're asking yourself, do I care? And we ask, are you building with agents? Then I think the answer is yes. So pretty simple question and answer. And I will leave it at that. Thank you for your interest.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you for supporting this very early phase of agentic economies. And we will continue to talk about IPFS, and the floor goes to another Matt, actually. Matt Hamilton, nice to meet you, from Protocol Labs and Filecoin.
Right, hello. Hopefully you can see my screen and hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
Yep. Okay, brilliant. Right. So yes, you have the benefit of a double header of Matt's here, both talking about IPFS and storage. So my name's Matt. I work within the Filecoin and Protocol Labs ecosystem. And what I'm going to talk about is a tool we have here called Filecoin Pin that allows you to pin your agent cards to IPFS and also backed up on, durable storage, archival storage on Filecoin. So we've got in the docs here, we've got a tutorial on Filecoin Pin using it specifically for 8004 agents. So I'm going to give you a very quick snippet of that. So the first thing you need to do, you need to install the Filecoin Pin command. It's an npm command, so npm g install Filecoin pin. That's all detailed in the tutorial. And then we set up payments. So Filecoin pin payments set up auto. This takes a couple of minutes to run, so I've run it ahead of time here, and it connects to network. You need some test fill and some USDFC, which is a USD stablecoin used for payments. Both of those are described in the instructions, and there are faucets that you can get those for. So I've done that. So the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to pin a card to here. So I've got a agent card in JSON for GitHub for an MCP agent. And so that's just going to go ahead and do that. So as that's doing it, it takes a couple of minutes. You see it packs it. We get a root CID here, and it's going to store it with a storage provider on Filecoin and handle all of the payment for that for you. So we have the CID, which means I can take that CID, ends 7DI, and I have it here, 7DI, and we can see it loaded here. So here is our card here. But as you can see, it's actually storing this on chain here. And you can actually look that back up and get confirmation of that. There's a command, again, this is all detailed in the instructions here, Filecoin pin CLI. There is a command there that you can run that will get this back. So IPFS Filecoin pin data set, and it will show you what data sets there are and what is available. So that's still running there in the background. Yeah, so we'll just wait for that a second, see if that should finish in a minute. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just call the, once we've got that, I'll just call the cast command to actually cast that, just to show this using base and the registry, the kind of implementation of the 8004 registry that is on base, just to show that. I think this is just taking a little while to confirm here. Yeah, okay. Well, live demos. So yeah, this is just, like I said, this is just confirming it with a storage provider. Ah, there we go. It's finished there. So that's now stored and confirmed on the network. We've got a data set ID, so I can actually put that in there to data set 30. I can actually call Filecoin pin dataset, and it will actually confirm that we actually have that information stored on Filecoin, so that you know cryptographically that information is all stored. So there we go. That was a quick whistle-stop tour of Filecoin pin. Like I said, if you go to docs.filecoin.io, we've got here in the Builder's Cookbook the Filecoin pin CLI, and also the specific agents demo there as well. And that also looks through, walks through to a GitHub repo that has a few scripts in there to help you just check you've got things like prerequisites set up, and just go through the steps that I just did there about uploading, registering, verifying. There's some scripts there to automate that. So there we go. And I believe I'm handing over to my colleague Jenny, who's going to talk about some offers that we've got on at the moment with Filecoin. So I guess over to Jenny.
I'm your local Jenny, or standing in for Jenny. She just got off a plane
we got
this
Molly.
morning.
Yay.
But yeah, hi friends. Here to give you a tiny bit of background about how Matt's awesome demo storing all of this on-chain agent data in on-chain decentralized storage is working. And so this is all building on the new Filecoin on-chain cloud that is running entirely in smart contracts in Filecoin land. It layers a number of services and smart contracts on top of your friendly Filecoin storage providers. We have on-chain payments using stablecoin or ERC-20 based payments. And we have a warm storage service contract that is doing all of the managing of storage contracts. And then Filecoin pin is an application built on top of this whole on-chain set of contracts that is enabling the IPFS storage. And so this is now live. You can go to pin.filecoin.cloud. We're still in our production testing. This is still all operating on the Filecoin calibration testnet, but this has a free set of wallets for early builders to start uploading their assets. You can use this as a web app. You can clone this, but there's also a GitHub action and the CLI that Matt was demoing. So as builders, you're probably going to be using the CLI anyway, but just if you want to get started and give it a try, you can do that today. And I mentioned that this is all running on the calibration testnet right now. This is what's happening under the hood. There is a funded wallet. We funded a wallet on your behalf to make life easy. You can upload files. You can verify them in real time, as Matt was showing. And these are getting published to the Interplanetary Network Indexer and then can be retrieved through any IPFS gateway, Kubo, whatever route you please. And you can also directly fetch from the Filecoin storage provider. And it's all being served fully on chain by a network of decentralized nodes. And coming next week, we are going to be also bringing this to the Filecoin mainnet. We'll have a sponsored contract for 8004 builders, just in case you don't want to go and start purchasing your Phil and USDFC stablecoins just to get started. You can start using the calibration endpoints today, but if you want to stay aware and be an early part of this as we go to mainnet. If you're in Buenos Aires, we'd love to host you at our launch party at DePIN Day. Here's the QR code. Otherwise, you can subscribe to Filecoin Cloud or follow the live stream on the Filecoin Twitter account on November 18th. Come be part of bringing this to mainnet and having fully end-to-end decentralized storage for decentralized, trustless on-chain agents. And we're excited to be on this journey with all of you, going to GA in real time alongside all the work you guys are doing. So check it out.
Thank you, Molly, and good luck with GA.
Very exciting days.
Okay, so the next speaker is YQ from Altlayer. Then Nader will go next. And to make sure we stay within around like the 3-minute-ish, Jesse will like show a countdown after like 2.5 minutes. Let's try. So YQ is actually improving dramatically the DevX experience, not just for 8004, but also for X402. And we'll present today, I think, 8004 scan. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Marco. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. We can hear you and see you well, but
I just share this one. Let me do it now. Can you see it right now?
yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks for Marco and Davi and the EF people for the invite. Yeah, so YQ here, I creating this 8004 scan just because previously I spent a lot of time on digging into all the details about this 8004 design implementations. I really to help out my understanding like sort of how it works and how we can really like explain the details of a lot of agents. Right now, it's pretty straightforward for all the developers. A lot of like sort of project developers ask me like how they can sort of register for this scan. I told them like if you register directly on like sort of these 804 contracts, either on the Ethereum, Sepolia, or Base, we will auto index these agents. You can directly see like sort of right now all the information for each agent and also the like sort of this contract registration information. Meanwhile, as Marco mentioned, like sort of I tried best to show the metadata. Like because a lot of developers users they directly embed all their data everything into the token URI. So in all different formats, HTTP and IPFS, and sometimes also this base 64 and all different formats. We are trying the best to sort of elaborate the details. It just yesterday we sort of enhanced this information like sort of showing a little bit better. Right now, if you really want to see the details, we also further load the metadata for a lot of these agents. You can, even for some images, like all the MPC, MCP and A2A, if they already have some content, you can also go to this identity section to check out this detailed information. Beyond that, we also started to index this feedback and also validation informations. Of course, like a lot of the things are still on testnet. We just try our best to index as much information we can get from this from the contracts and also the registration information from the agents as possible. And later on, like once this A04 like sort of contract on the mainnet, and once we have more agent, right, we will probably have more these kind of interactions with some of the agents. Especially later, we may have a lot of the X4 to payment agents, right? We already started to index the data for it. And beyond that, we also have something a little bit interesting, but it's still in this kind of alpha mode. It's basically it's sort of we call builder, as it's just like quickly help you to build this like A04 like agent to for the registration. It's not for the agent itself. It's like help you to quickly fill in a bunch of information, and then you can register based on some of the best practice. Of course, we will further improve this kind of informational description based on the best practices provided by Marco and the team. And after that, we try to make it as straightforward as possible. So once user just fill in all these different informations, they can just register via this very simple, we can call wizard or builder, like sort of this, yeah, this kind of platform. So right now it's on Sepolia, so it's a pretty straightforward and fast, and just after a few seconds or minutes, you will see like sort of the agents will be indexed into the scan. Of course, if you have further like sort of requests, like what kind of things we should show on this A04 scan, just feel free to DM me in these TG groups. Or just we on our side or on my side, we really want to build this like A4 scan as a public good tool, and to help like sort of the developers to quickly register their agents on like sort of A04. So in the future, we can quickly like bring a lot of agents to interact with each other for better agentic economy. Yeah. Yeah, that's all on my part. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, it's cool to see like the product that changes every 2 days. The velocity is astonishing. Next in the agenda is Nader from Eigen Labs, talking about how Eigen Cloud can be of support in building trustless agents. I'm not sure Nader is with us.
I can ping him, but we can just go on.
Yes,
He's in the participant.
please do that. And the next one in the agenda is me again, I'm sorry, and with a different hat. So I want to speak about Agent Zero. The general idea of Agent Zero is that in terms of dev tooling, I mean, as a developer, I don't care about an ERC or another ERC. Who cares about ERC? I'm just a dev and I want my agent to take part of agent economies. So we have a lot of SDKs focused on how to build agents, but how about how to make agents connected to other agents, to find other agents, to coordinate with other agents. And so, oh yes, of course, 8004 is important on that, but this SDK could also potentially cover other feature and other part. We want to cover the whole flow of agentic coordination. We launched this 12 days ago, and we have received since then almost 2 community PR per day. And that's why actually we just released new docs, because the product has changed a lot compared to 2 weeks ago. Let's get into it. I will try to go super fast because we only have 2 minutes, but the docs are very structured. And with this SDK, you can abstract 8004 and do stuff with just one line of code. The SDK is available as a Python SDK or as a TypeScript SDK. It's called Agent Zero. Let's start with a quick start. You select a default chain, but now we support multi-chain. So you have a default chain that you use to register your agent, but then as you will see, you can use multiple chains to query agents on other chain. You have an RPC, you can put a private key or directly the signer. It's compatible with the Filecoin CLI that we have seen today with Piñata and directly with an IPFS client. You can register your agent with name, description, image with one line. And this creates the agent, doesn't register it yet. You can add MCPs and A2A endpoint, DNS. You can add the wallet. You can add the trust models. You can add custom metadata. You can add skill and domain as we were discussing earlier. Somebody in the chat wasn't able to find the finance skill just because finance is a domain. So if you look at the domains, you will see many domains correlated to blockchain and finance. You can, if you can mute Yusuf, please. You can active or deactivate the agent directly from with one line of code. And finally, you can register the agent. As you can see, it's just one line. So after that, you're fine with all the parameters. You can just register the agent, and you can update it later after having loaded the agent. So you can load the agent or also get agents built by other. You can use feedback, so you can sign the feedback oath. This will be removed to make stuff simpler. You can define the feedback with one line. You can submit the feedback. And let's move to my favorite part, which is search. This is a multi-chain global search. We leverage subgraphs. So we are also giving like free subgraphs with infinite query for everybody. We now support Polygon testnet, base testnet, and Sepolia testnet. We are going to support network soon. So here you can find all agents that know how to code Python. You can query agent by reputation with a mean average score. You can have multi-criteria search. I want who wants the agents that are good with JavaScript and can generate code. You have pagination. And it was just like a very fast walk through, but you have like almost 50 methods. It's very complete. We just went through the example section. I suggest to go to the usage section if you have time. I will share the link now because it's more complete and you will see like all the endpoints. And this is growing and changing very fast. And I will share in a second the link to the Agent Zero Kitchen, which is a Telegram group, pretty boring, where we just discuss PRs and who wants to do that, who wants to add this. But it's to see the product evolving live. The product has been already downloaded by more than 1,000 builders that are using it. Okay, let's give the floor to, and we are looking for contributors. So if you want to help, that would be great. Jesse, do you know if Nader is with us?
I don't think so. I pinged him, but
Okay.
not yet.
Okay.
Cool. I think I can just go next with the ecosystem app and get it started. Awesome. So would you be able to share the slide?
You can share it.
Okay, let me try to see how to do this from my screen. Share. Can you guys see the screen?
Perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So lots of movement happening for the ecosystem side of things. We have about 1,100 builders in the 8004 builder group already. And I think we try to push a lot of people to go to the right link to submit for the ecosystem app. And currently 67 projects have submitted. mostly ranging from development, testing, and production at these stages. There's a lot of different categories, everything from AI infra like data, hosting, memory, context, eval, wallet, privacy, to reputation scores. Different people are playing with different metrics, on-chain, off-chain, to sort of have a more comprehensive overview of the reputation, having a lot of different types of discovery layers, explorers, different format and methods of doing validation, doing agent orchestration. There's obviously a lot of DeFi agents. There's some, decentralized robotics projects are also emerging. And then definitely a big category is payments, commerce, even like agent stablecoins and credit cards for agents that we've seen, which is very interesting. Some community media projects as well. And last but not least, many agent frameworks and marketplaces. So we did a preliminary ecosystem map. This is nowhere near being comprehensive. This is just mostly taking ones that are testing and in production, and the logos that our designers are able to find. So if you want to like be a part of the map, please, this is like actual like permissionless open version of the ecosystem map. If you want to scan the QR code, you can find it here in the first QR code, and then if you want to be a part of it, feel free to fill in the second QR code. But yeah, we have many cool projects happening, and then we'll be inviting some of these projects to speak at the Trustless Agent Day, which we'll cover in at the end of this presentation. That's it from me.
Thank you, Jesse. I think we're moving to demo time. And we have 3 minutes each demo, and then so we will have then time to discuss the Dev Connect event happening next week. The first person is Robert Brighton from Praxis, that will present making 8004 feedback frictionless in one click.
Hey guys, I've pre-recorded just to make sure that I'm going to stay within the time given that everything ran over. But we've cooked up a demo to showcase the Praxis Explorer, which is integrated with the ERC-8004 on-chain reputation standard. So what you will see is new agents being registered, their identities being viewed, metadata and capabilities. And then feedback is left after each interaction, which then updates the agent's on-chain reputation score in real time. So let me cook that up for you guys so that we stay on time here. Bear with me. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, let me mute myself and then I'll play it.
I think you have to unmute for sound.
We can't hear anything, Robert. I don't know if you want to speak on it or you can just look at the subtitles.
So is the audio not working?
No, it's not.
Given the time constraint, it is subtitled. So if you're okay, I'll just continue there to make sure that we stay on time before I try and figure it out, if that's okay.
Yes, please. Would be great.
All right.
And I think that this demo is a good reminder that 8004 is the infra, but in terms of reputation, how this is really valuable for users, how the experience can be frictionless, that's up to apps that can make it like one click easy with like stars and ratings as we have just seen.
Yeah, and the other plug is that actually the way you leave ratings in 8004 is like very generic, right? It's like a very simple structure, and you can be creative on like what type of rating. Like you can slice like the 0 to 100 into stars. Like yeah.
Yeah, just to add on to that, the goal here is to make it programmatic so that the agents can give each other the scores. It is possible to add in user ratings as well, but of course that's more subjective to gamification there. So we're going to keep it programmatic as much as possible. Appreciate the opportunity, guys. Thank you. On to the next one.
Denver will speak about simulation environments for 8004 reputation.
Sweet. Thanks, Marco. All right. So we've been doing research into how to do ratings and rankings of agents based upon reputation. We found that it was then in turn useful to have a simulation environment. We'll be open sourcing this under the Apache 2 license, so hopefully it's helpful to you as well. To walk you through what's going on, we have a local PyEVM backend where we then spin up fully like 8AA compliant agents. They register and then they interact with one another within our simulation loop. We will then get all of this spit back out to us. And we found that this is useful for a couple of reasons. One, just having this locally let us spin up our own contracts, deploy them, etc., fund accounts, do all of that stuff without having to worry about testnet connections. You can also point this, if you so choose, to at any EVM compatible chain. So if you're familiar with something like Anvil from Paradigm, that's also another backend that you can use. We then have our agents themselves, which have a couple things going on. They're 8AA compliant, they have wallets, and then they also have a full set of tools that they can interact and use. Those are just, a variety of functions, and then the peers being other agents registered within the simulation that they can actually interact with. An important thing to note is you can really bias your simulation output mainly just through a prompt. Our goal is to, be able to simulate what does a malicious reputation provider look like. So if I'm trying to artificially inflate a certain agent, are we able to pick that up and determine that based upon the activity that they show therein? At the end of the simulation, like I said, you get the full output of everything that happened, just as you would within an EVM system. So yeah, we found that's useful in our research in being able to simulate, certain desired outcomes. This really can scale up pretty much as you want, and you can just kind of have these guys run in the background and continue to communicate with one another. Hopefully this is useful to you. If you want to get in contact, like I said, we will be open sourcing this, so anyone that wants to can use it in turn. And then you can also just follow us on Twitter, Simiac Labs, or reach out to me on Telegram or on GitHub. I'll share this in the chat. Should be fun. I think this is a big problem broadly when it comes to just how do you actually make meaningful insights out of reputation so that you can effectively rank agents. We see manipulation in things such as L Marina in a Web 2 context, and I think we have an interesting opportunity to actually make something that's, I don't know, let's call it less scammable. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. So next one is Marco from Oasis, but we'll talk about the trusted execution environment validation for agent keys.
Exactly. Thank you. It's a pleasure to present. So we've been building actually trustless agents with quite a few projects. Oh, someone is already sharing. What we generally advise projects and actually users too is to think about 3 questions. And anyone that has talked to me knows I keep on shilling this. Everyone should be able to answer who's running the agent, who's controlling the agent keys, and who can upgrade the agent. And I assume everyone here has now built some agents, and you will realize it's really not that trivial to answer these questions properly. So for this demo, we have actually built a validator agent that takes not only TE deployments, checking attestations, but also checks if the agent is utilizing keys that were derived in a decentralized key management system, meaning the private key has never left the secure enclave. So I don't actually know who's sharing the screen now.
Yeah, I think I can take over it now. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, you
So
remember that.
basically, for those of you who don't know, Oasis is running this privacy-focused blockchain. And here is an example from our Explorer of an application. And the one thing I'd like to expose today is basically every TE replica has this guarded access to this metadata key value store. So only within TE you can store stuff into this data structure, and it's public, like anyone can read it, right? So now every Oasis app can also register an ERC-8004 agent, of course. But how do we prove, that some agent you get from the ERC-8004 is now really running inside TE, and that the keys that it derived, that really derived from the TE? And yeah, that's where we use this metadata data structure. So you store the public versions of the keys inside. And then we need to prove, that that keys never really left the TE. And first, you need to audit your application, of course, but this is outside of the scope. You need to audit all previous versions of your applications as well. So blockchain is really useful here because all application upgrades are stored on chain. And the second step is that we need to prove that the current instance that's live, that it's really running from the source code we audited, right? So how we do it is when the replica spins up, it stores this public key to the metadata. And when you register an agent to the ERC-8004 on Ethereum, you store this Oasis app ID inside the metadata as well. So when the app is started, it stores the public key and then triggers this validation request. Okay, this is the validation registry part. And our validator agent then basically fetches the raw file metadata. It checks whether the app really exists on chain, if it's alive, and also compiles the whole image and checks whether the hash matches the one that's stored on chain. And then this results in the validation score. So if everything is fine, the score is 100. And you also get this nice validation response. So this is the example live on the Explorer. And yeah, I admit I'm also one of the sinners who stored the base64 encoded JSON. So in our case, we stored this raw file metadata copy inside the transactions. So yeah, you can see that this ERC-8004 signing key, for example, here is now really that matches the one that's stored on chain. Yeah. So the goal of what we've been doing actually is the user needs to check the validation response score and if the desired public key is now present there. So then they can trust the agent. So this simplifies the whole technicalities around the TE. But of course, one still needs to audit the actual source code. So if the key, if the app is broken, then yeah, the key left the TE and maybe developer posted it somewhere and leaked it. But yeah, this is outside of the scope.
Thank you very much. Thank you to you and to the whole Oasis team. So Nader is with us now. This is a preview of just 2-3 minutes of what Nader will do at the Trustless Agency Day. We will have an entire product talk dedicated specifically about what Agent Cloud is doing for Trustless Agents. And then Davide will close presenting the agenda of the event.
All right, thank you. Let's see here. I will share my screen. Actually, can I go next? Or last?
Yes. And Oasis, if you can unshare, I still see your... Okay. Davide, up to you.
Hey guys, this has been great so far. Let me share the agenda for the Trustless Agent Day event. Yeah, we've been hard at work organizing this in parallel of all the updates on the dev tooling side. So the event is going to be on Friday, November 21st. It's a whole day event. So we start in the morning. It's at La Rural, which is kind of the main venue of Dev Connect. And as you see here, we put like 8004 and X402 in the new logo. So what happened is that the X402 community wanted to do like an event at Dev Connect around the same time. We kind of invited them. So we are kind of hosting also like people from the X402 community. I think these two communities are very aligned. When Marco and I started talking about what then became 8004 a few months ago, like in the early summer, actually we were thinking about payments, and then we looked into X402 and we're like, okay, maybe we can use this protocol for payments. Let's solve kind of the hard problem of like discovery and trust. And so since the beginning, these two were complementary, and we want to continue like essentially building this together. We are just sharing the agenda for the first time, so we'll publish it after the call. But just like a quick view, we start at 9:30 a.m. with registration. At the beginning, we have a series of talks, which are kind of more tech talks. So there will be like a chair from DeepMind talking about like MassGen, which is this framework that they're building. A couple of talks like focus on like cryptography and security for agentic AI. And then we continue with a few product-related talks. There is going to be like some X402 in there, some crossover between like 8004, X402. Yeah, so then lunch break in the afternoon. We are going to have like, again, like some X402 talk, like as we start in the afternoon, and then like a lot of like product talks from like ecosystem builder in the 8004 ecosystem that will showcase like what they've been building. Some of them joined like the builder program that we ran. And then towards the end, there will be like a couple of panels, and then we have a closing panel with a surprise guest that we'll announce later. And yeah, so this is the agenda. We'll publish it. Like if you are there, please make sure you register. It's gonna be a great day, kind of a celebration of like this beginning of 8004. Like it's just the beginning. Yeah, maybe I can pass it on to another.
Yes. Sorry about that. I was actually making some changes to my presentation and I was not finished yet. So now I'm finished. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, portion of screen. All right, cool. So the talk that I'm going to be, or what I'm going to be kind of really diving into is essentially the like trustless agent stack. And it's kind of like with AI in general, like where we currently are today in terms of being able to build and develop products and agents. We're starting to kind of see a lot of standards and you know, I would say agreed upon protocols that developers can follow. Now, if you look at kind of like the traditional AI space, you see that we have like MCP, and you see that we have now with Google, they have A2A and now AP2. And in the crypto world, we have like X402 and we have ERC-8004. So what I'm trying to do is kind of explore the entire trustless stack. Like what does the actual stack look like for building trustless agents? At the core, it's definitely going to be 8004. Obviously, X402 fits in there really, really well. And then a couple of things that we're building at Eigen we think also fit into the stack, but we want to expand beyond just the stuff that we're building and kind of look at what's being built not only at the protocol and standard level, but also at the product level outside of our company as well. But the original kind of like tweet that kind of got me thinking about this was this post here, where I'm kind of like breaking down a very maybe basic look at what the trustless agent stack might look like. You have ERC-8004 for identity and reputation. You have X42 for payments. And then you have two products that we're working on, EigenAI for verifiable inference and EigenCompute for verifiable execution. And when you start looking at the properties of a blockchain and why you can't traditionally bring regular inference on chain, you have properties that a blockchain has that obviously aren't available in traditional LLMs, LLM inference. You have deterministic execution. You have the ability to re-execute and verify the state of the chain. You have I would say like pure functionality in the sense that you have identical outputs, return identical outputs, identical inputs, return identical outputs. You have transparency and you have immutability. But with inference today, none of these things exist. So you can't really just say, I'm going to make an inference call and bring that result on chain. What you need are two things. You need deterministic execution. You need verifiability. So that's kind of what we've tried to build with EigenAI, which is essentially verifiable AI. And you can kind of play around with what this looks like in practice at this new website that I put together last week called deterministicinference.com. And you can go in and you can like compare traditional AI models with what we offer with verifiable and deterministic inference. So you can kind of run any inference with a seed and you're guaranteed to get the same output. And anyone in the world can also re-execute this and get the same exact output, very similar to kind of how a blockchain works. And then the other thing that I wanted to dive into is the compute version, or the compute part of this. It's essentially being able to kind of like run agents verifiably in a trusted execution environment, with the ability to verify the code that's being run and the ability to kind of verify that the agent that you're saying is being run is actually like being run, as opposed to, you know, it being run on kind of like some centralized server. So this is kind of some of the stuff that I'm putting together for the talk. And I'll probably share this in a Twitter post kind of all together at some point, but I'm still kind of finalizing all of it. So that's kind of it for me.
Thank you very much. So also looking forward to your tweet and to listening you on stage on Friday. And it's a miracle. We're perfectly on time with such a dense agenda. It's exactly 60 minutes now. Well, oh yes, we had the Q&A, but
we can do it offline maybe, unless
yes, we can do it in the group unless there are burning questions, or we can also do that in person for who is around in Argentina next week.
Awesome.
Have a good one. Thank you all for joining.
See you
Thank you for having us.
next week.
Thank you guys. See you guys in Argentina.
See you. Bye-bye.